In this section, we are going to learn about HTML block, inline, div, and span. So let's begin with block level elements. A block level element always starts on a new line, and the browser automatically adds some space, such as a margin before and after the element. A block level element always takes up the full width available. It stretches out to the left and right as far as it can. Two commonly used block level elements are P and div, and some of the block level elements used in HTML are in the screen right now. Now, one thing to remember that a block level element can contain an inline element, but an inline element cannot contain a block level element. Now, here are some of the inline elements. Now, few things to remember in inline element is that an inline element does not start on a new line. An inline element only takes up as much width as necessary. So let's just say you write an inline element using span hello world. So it's not going to take up all the spaces available. It's going to only take up space to write hello world. Now let's move on to div. The div element is often used as the container for other HTML elements. So it is basically a divider, a container. The div element has no required attributes, but style, class, and ID are common. So you can use style CSS, you can use class, and you can also use ID just like any other elements, and it does not have any required attribute. When used together with CSS, the div element can be used to style blocks of the content. So if you want to give a background color for both H2 and P, all you have to do is take H2 and P inside a div element and then style the div element and give the background color to the div element and padding and everything. It is going to change the background color of both H2 and P. And in the span element is an inline container used to mark up a part of a text or a part of a document. So it's not going to take up the whole space. It is going to only make changes to part of a text or part of a document. The span element has no required attribute, but style, class, and ID are common, just like div. The only difference is div is going to take div changes a lot, but span only changes a little bit. When used together with CSS, the span element can be used to style part of the text. So let's just say you want to change the blue text and give it a color of blue, and everything else is going to remain the same. So to do that, you can take the blue inside the span tag and give style to the span tag, and it is going to change the color of the blue. Now, this is the theory, but before moving on to the practice session, let us revise the chapter. A block level element always starts on a new line and takes up the full width available. An inline element does not start on a new line and it takes up as much width as necessary. The div element is block level and is often used as a container for other HTML elements. The span element is an inline container used to mark up a part of a text or a part of a document. Now let's move on to our practice session. Now let's first use a block element, and to do that I'm going to use P and write this is a block level element. As you can see, it has taken all the spaces available. If I write another P, this is another paragraph. See, it is going to start from a new line. Now let's take a span tag, an inline element. Span I am span. It is in now. If I put this span P, this will contain a span and inline element. Now, if I put this span inside this inline, you see IMS span is here. It is not taking another line and it is not taking the whole width. It is going to only take the width necessary for it. Now let's look at the div element. Starting of div element, and then so I'm going to take div, and inside div I'm going to take h2. This is div heading, and p, this is div paragraph. And let's just say I want to change the background color for both of them. Now all I have to do is write style and write background color, and the color is going to be blue. See, the background color for both of them changed. And if I want to turn the text color to white, the text color has become white for both of them. Now, let's just say I want to change a span element. And for that, I'm going to write here, this is starting off span element. For this, I'm going to take a paragraph and write there will be a blue, red text here. And I want to change the color of the red word to red. And to do that, I'm going to take a span tag and I will put the red word inside the span tag. Span red word, Control X and Control V. And then I'm going to change the style. Color is going to be red. Now you see the color here is red. Everything else remained the same, but the span color has changed. So that is the use case of div and span.